None of you should be here. So, thank you for doing everything that you've done.
His tears were not for those parents. Those tears were for himself.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with this court case, Angela. It's like, these people have lost their children. And you're thinking about the fact that you might have had your phone hacked 3 decades ago. I mean, it was gross.
Harry is extremely unwell, I think, from knowing him for 15 months very well. And he can't actually cope.
Prince Harry, in the midst of a royal crisis that should just see him disappear and shut up, has decided to make a bonkers public appearance in Los Angeles, supporting the grieving parents who lost their children to social media crimes, even though he no longer wants anything to do with his parents' network organization, which he's passed on to another charity. But in his public speech, which was leaked to the BBC in a total stitch-up, because, of course, Harry can't do anything with us knowing about it, he is once again breaking down in public, showing that his mental state is all over the place, and that's what he should be focusing on, and trying to compare the plight of these grieving parents to his ludicrous and selfish and frankly unhinged battle versus the British newspapers. This video is going to shock you because he is not a well man. He is not a well man, and it is a huge unexploded ticking time bomb for the British royal family, and shame on the BBC for continuing to empower him as if he has anything to offer. Watch.
We've said time and time again that this is a David versus Goliath situation. I've been in some similar situations myself, vastly different, but when you're sitting in court, and if you have that feeling of just overwhelming emotion because you can't believe that the people on the other side are saying what they're saying, that by the very nature of them defending what they're defending, the lies that they are stating, is devaluing life, is devaluing your children's lives. If that brings stuff up for you, it is totally normal. Do not feel ashamed, do not feel concerned, even if the judge, as I heard, turned around and asked you not to show emotion. As I said, none of you should be here. So, thank you for doing everything that you've done. Thank you for telling your stories over and over again. Truth, justice, and accountability. Those are the 3 things that will come from this.
Okay, I've got so much to say about that. The first thing is Harry's tears, and I want to be very clear about this, are not for the grieving parents. His tears are for himself. Did you notice when he broke? It was after he was attacking the judge. And again, Harry wasn't attacking the judge in the case of these parents. He doesn't give a damn. He was attacking the judge, Justice Nicklin, in his case versus the Daily Mail, who humiliated him when he was on the stand. I actually think there's something quite twisted about someone who is comparing a little bit of invasion of privacy by newspapers and that battle with the true heartbreak and trauma that must be felt by the parents who blame social media networks for the loss of their children. And it shows you actually that Harry doesn't do sympathy, he only does empathy. And what I mean by that is Harry is only able to feel, and this is why he's such a useless royal these days, Harry is only able to feel or tap in to someone else's pain if he can compare it to the pain of his own life. He has the ultimate victim mentality, which is, of course, not what a royal is meant to be. The whole idea of the British royal family is that they live the privileged lives, so we don't have to worry about their lives. They can worry about ours. Now, I need to tell you about this event because it was in Los Angeles, and it was after a major court case examining the mental health effects of Instagram and YouTube. And it began with Meta and Google facing the first jury trial examining whether social media companies deliberately design their platforms to addict children. Now, just a little reminder to you all, while this is going on, Harry's wife, Meghan Markle, is plotting new ways to exploit his children on the social media networks owned by these companies. So I found that speech truly disturbing on a whole load of levels. I find it disturbing that Harry can't just shut up and go away at this time of ultimate peril for the British royal family. I find it very worrying and disturbing that he is in tears about his own court case in public, showing that I don't think he's mentally all there. And I think at a time when all of the focus of the mainstream media and all of the focus of royal watchers is on the very current crisis engulfing the British royal family, and of course we will cover that today, covering Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor in Anything But Glory, actually the real risk remains in Montecito, because this is not a balanced human being. Angela Levin, as our royal mastermind, she is also Prince Harry's biographer, spent a huge amount of time with the Duke in the past. Now, Angela, I found that speech incredibly shocking from Harry. I think it's so weird that he would actually want the BBC to have that. Because did you notice the same thing that I did, Angela, that actually his tears were not for those parents. Those tears were for himself.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with this court case, Angela. It's like, these people have lost their children. And you're thinking about the fact that you might have had your phone hacked 3 decades ago. I mean, it was gross.
A new crisis is unfolding for the royal family after reports revealed that £12 million was allegedly loaned in an effort to support Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor during his ongoing controversies. The claim has sparked fresh debate about judgment, accountability, and whether the monarchy miscalculated in trying to contain the fallout. Critics say the move now looks like a costly and futile attempt to steady a situation that continues to damage the institution's reputation. Supporters argue it may have been a private family matter that spiralled into a public relations disaster. In this segment, we break down what's being reported, why the figure matters, and how this could place renewed pressure on King Charles at a time when the monarchy can least afford another setback. Like the video, subscribe for the latest royal updates, and comment below. Was this loyalty or a serious mistake?
Yes, I think that one of the many problems, was that he didn't expect the meeting to be so difficult for him at court. Very vulnerable and very naive. And the judge was taking quite a strong line, of course, and Harry couldn't take it. He just can't take it. And he feels he's worked on this for so many years. He's got all sorts of famous people to do it with crooked stories, and persuading them that they have to do it, telling lies, I'm afraid. And it's not working. It's not easy to go into a court and speak like you should talk. And the judge got very annoyed, as you have heard, when he was saying, but I felt this. He said, well, we're not talking about how you feel. We're talking about what the things you've got to prove yourself. You know, he couldn't understand that. And so he's a very, very vulnerable place. Meghan is apparently screaming and shouting and make his life very difficult, because one minute she wants to come to the UK and actually be, very busy with the royal family here. The next, she doesn't want to come because she can't face it and she doesn't like us. So it's a terrible, terrible mess. But within that mess, he doesn't seem to be talking about any of his children. And you could get something from him as saying, because this is so terrible, I feel that's so awful about young children watching the television all the time or going on Instagram, which their mother does, or a YouTube, which we do. So it's sort of messy. He didn't say anything that would make it clearer for us because he can't cope with it. He doesn't understand it. So is Meghan going to stop going on the Instagram?
Of course
Ha ha.
not.
Oh no.
Of course not.
Exactly. You got
Of course
that
not.
right. Yep, absolutely right.
Of course not. But I mean, he was saying to these people, Angela, do not feel ashamed. Well, what would they feel ashamed about?
Yes, that's terrible.
Again, I think all of this is projection. It's projection. He feels ashamed. He feels ashamed. These parents are not ashamed. This entire speech was about himself.
Yes, he can't do it now. And the more he's trying to do these things, the worse he gets, because he gets in a huge muddle, because it's all about him. Meghan is all about her, he's all about him, and neither of them know what they're doing that actually makes any sense. But Harry is extremely unwell, I think, from knowing him for 15 months very well, and he can't actually cope if he's got to cry with all these things. Of course, it's a tragedy to hear about children dying, particularly if they're killing themselves. I think nothing can be worse. But he's not doing with that part of it. He's doing with the sort of comparing issue between him in the court and them feeling bad that what's happened to their children. I mean, it's tragic, actually. It's really tragic. But he's in a no man's land. He doesn't know what he's doing. And he's just a non-person, really.
Yeah, he's talking about truth, justice, and accountability. And it's like, your case is nothing about that.
Yes.
Also, Angela, it's like, does he really think that at this moment, him going public and leaking this to the BBC helps anyone? Think of how much his mother used to do undercover, Angela. If he wanted to go to be there as a support for the families, he could have just gone. He didn't need to leak this as a publicity stunt to the BBC, because you know what he's trying to do, isn't he? He's trying to say, oh, look, the royal family's in a mess, and here I am doing all of this good work. That's what he's trying to say.
I think he's actually doing something that he feels he's got to do once every so many months. I mean, they set up this charity, but they don't do it regularly. They hardly do any charity at all. And then suddenly they have to do it, and it's not in the mood to do that. He can't cope with that. I don't know that it's so much about Diana. You may well be right, but I think that he just can't deal with things. He can't deal with anything at the moment. He doesn't know where he is, who he is, and it's just where he is with Meghan. 1 minute she loves him, 1 minute she pushes him out the way. You know, if you've got a woman like that who's doing that to you, I'm not surprised that you're a little bit weird.
No, he's not well. He's not well. I think you've summed it up perfectly, Angela. And of course, this comes at a really difficult moment for the British royal family, when the last thing that Charles needs is to be worried about his youngest son breaking down in public. I mean, they're doing their best, Angela. I'll show you these images. Last night, there was a carers event at Buckingham Palace, and so Camilla was there, and Charles not looking well, and we'll come to that later. He was there alongside a whole load of celebrities, and of course, the idea is we're doing our work and it's business as usual. And of course, to some degree, Angela, there is a desire for the British public to see the good in the monarchy. That is very important. But at the same time, you can't get away from just how difficult the headlines remain for the British royal family. And Andrew Lowney reporting overnight that Andrew undermined national security, according to an FBI report. And he says that the monarchy is now at a tipping point, And he is calling for the royal family to announce their own inquiry into what's gone on with Andrew, rather than just waiting for the police